Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, beautiful souls. I am back at you today again with another reading. Today we are asking the question, which realm would like to give you a message? So my name is Alicia. I am Barney Matahari. Returning subscribers, thank you for coming back. Visitors, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. It means the world to me. Drop-ins, newcomers, so lovely to have you swing by. We have 3 piles today. Pile number 1 with Maeve, Cycles and Rhythms. Pile number 2 with Irene, with Peace. And pile number 3, Athena, with Inner Wisdom. So take a moment, pause the video, follow your process, and decide which pile is for you. Pile number 1, you had Maeve. Beautiful card here. And Maeve is about cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body. Energy levels and emotions. Very, very beautiful. I'm loving all of, she's draped in purple, she's got blue around her, she's got red around her, and a trim of gold, and she's dancing. And you can see that the sky is reflected on the ground beneath her, and you've got this beautiful coloring. Just, it's like, it's reminding me of the Northern Lights, except I don't see any green. I'm getting very high, the higher chakras like third eye and crown chakra very strongly. And of course, she's talking about honor the cycles of your body's emotions and energy. I'm getting quite a shamanic vibe from her, but you know, kind of that energy, the celestial energy, the divine energy grounded into the earth. And of course, Pisces rules the feet as well. So very feminine, very rhythmic. Cycles and rhythms, divine feminine. So very beautiful. And you have compassion, gorgeous. The frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and to be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. My goodness. And at the core, you've got the same kind of colors inside of the heart and then up here at the crown chakra. Really, really, really beautiful. And I'm getting, you know, the star energy from that as well, just with the shapes. You can see the Merkaba kind of in there. Beautiful, beautiful. So that's very, very mirroring to this and complementary. We've got the Grouch over here. And the colors kind of really vibe with this card. And the Grouch is obviously talking about, you know, we sometimes have to have boundaries and defend our energy. There's a lot of talk about forgiveness being just accepting bad behavior. But compassion starts with self-compassion. And what the dragon is calling us, the dragon realm is calling us, and the dragons are calling us, dragons have teeth, and sometimes they have to be you have to show them, and sometimes you have to use, they have very thick scaly skin, dragons, and that's protecting what's inside. So it's really a call to like bare your teeth when you need to deal with the emotions that you have. So it pairs really beautifully with this. And then you have Sub Rosa, and this is from the Rose Oracle. Hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning, and teaching. Very, very beautiful. So the realm that's coming through most, that's the loudest for me, for you, pile number 1, is the angelic realm or the celestial realm. Both these realms, they're not exactly the same, but I guess they're kind of connected. So both these realms are coming through in this reading for you. And if you think about the angelic realm, for example, you'll find the archangels and the seraphim up there. And the seraphim are like higher order angelic realms, and the angels are warriors. So it's really talking about, it's really reinforcing this idea that compassion is not being a doormat. Compassion is not letting people walk all over you because you have an open heart. Your heart is something to be protected and to be shared. Like, it's really talking, I'm getting really strongly for the heart chakra, if you think about it, is the gateway. Again, it's echoing this theme of the heart between the lower chakras and the upper chakras. And the lower chakras, there's a lot of balance of duality coming through here with the cycles and rhythms. We have winter and fall, summer and spring. We have death and rebirth. We have, we have dark and light. We have the two dragons here are reminding me of Gemini as well, the twins. And we have over here places like Atlantis and Egypt and ritual, that kind of thing. Queen Maeve is, I'm being drawn to the Celtic realm as well. Well, not Celtic realm, but Celtic mythology, or the Celtic expression of the realms, let's say. Queen Maeve, she was the queen of Connacht, and she was fierce, and she was most famous for the Táin Bó Cúailnge, and that is I think it's the Battle of the Bull or something. I'm loosely translating it, but she waged war on Connacht. Is a province in Ireland, and there was 4 provinces in Ireland, and she was the queen of one of them. And in some legends, she is said not to be of this earth, but she was a fairy queen who fell in love and incarnated on earth. But she was very fiery, and Maeve itself actually means she who intoxicates. So that again is bringing through the ritualistic, the dance, the movement, the ritual, the ceremony, I guess, also. Not just of praying, but also praying with the body and honoring the body, and the interplay between masculine and feminine energies within, as within, so without, and then that gets expressed out into the world. And it was said that that she would not marry someone who was meaner than her. And I'm meaner than her. They had to be kind, they had to be fearless, they had to be brave, and they also had to be free from jealousy. So she would not tolerate in a partner anyone who had these characteristics. Jealousy, meanness, or fear. So she had that understanding that in order to be a good ruler, you couldn't let those things overtake you, because it took away from you. But she wanted the prize bull from Ulster, and it was Cuchulainn, who was also a very strong leader, who was able to stand up to her. So she got overcome with the power, because this magical bull that was up in Ulster, she just got fixated on wanting it. So there was a big battle that ensued. You should be empowered to be, I'm hesitant to use the word control, but I guess to master is a better word. We should have mastery over our own selves. She was a warrior queen. Warrior as distinctive from general or soldier, because general and soldier tends to be externalized warriorship. You have that control over your own energy, your own self, your own emotions, your own cycles, and from that place is where the leadership comes. And The grouch really kind of reiterates that you have these, I'm thinking of the 4 agreements: restraint of the warrior versus the repression of the victim. So it talks about the judge and the victim, and that's the 2 warring sides within us. And it also, if you think back to a lot of shamanic principles, and a lot of shamanic cultures, they send their men out into the wild to become master of their own selves, where they have to. So the lower chakras would be, let's say, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, and they would be the masculine chakras. And then you have the heart chakra, which is the air chakra, and it's represented by green. And then above that, you have of the main 7 chakras, you have the throat chakra, and then you have the third eye chakra and the crown chakra. And the heart chakra is really a balancing of these two energies. And the higher chakras, they're the feminine chakras. So I'm getting really, I'm also seeing, this is reminding me also, with the throat chakra, the voice could save him. The Bene Gesserit mother says that to Lady Jessica about Paul Atreides. And it's that, again, back to the 4 agreements, always be impeccable with your word. And being impeccable with your word is like, do what you say and say what you do. Your word has to mean what it says it means, because otherwise it's trickster. You're not trustworthy. You're not in integrity. And it's interesting that the throat chakra is ruled by and I'm pointing to this lapis lazuli because it reminds me of because it represents the throat chakra, and the throat chakra stands for those things like truth and confidence and and communication. And if you think about it as well, and it being a feminine energy, if you don't tell the truth, if you don't speak the truth, if you are not impeccable with your word, you are going to project that onto other people. So you can never have confidence in yourself or other people to do the right thing if you can't be in harmony with the truth. It just is, you are what you eat. You are what you consume. And that includes the information, the company that you keep, the books that you read, the content that you watch, the food that you put in your body, the whole 9. And I really feel like this whole spread is really, really speaking to that very, very strongly. For this whole spread, I'm really getting, for you guys, pile number 1. And in Ireland, guys means guys and girls. So, and everything in between. So I'm really feeling like you are in a stage of mastery of being a bridge from heaven and earth. And that's bringing up like really strong Capricorn vibes as well. Because Capricorn is the representative of the goat. And that's the bridge between heaven and earth. And I'm getting very strong Kuan Yin, who also was the goddess of compassion, but she started her journey as a male. She's before she became the goddess of compassion as we know her today, she was Avalokiteshvar, I think that's how you say it. And she was a he before that. So that again is reiterating those themes of balancing of masculine and feminine energies, and we all have to do that within. I'm getting Mother Mary very strong, Mary Magdalene, Isis, really strong priestess energy. We talked a lot about dancing, and we talked a lot about rituals and temples, and it's coming across as that really Christ consciousness frequency is what I want to say. So let's pull some tarot and see what comes out for you guys. 6 of Wands, beautiful. The Chariot, gorgeous. 3 of Coins, 3 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Three of Swords. Four of Wands. Five of Swords. And Five of Cups. Okay. So what I'm getting from your tarot cards is that you're very adept at knowing about cycles, that you have experienced betrayal, that you have experienced disappointment. Isis was the one who put Osiris back together after he was killed and his remains were scattered. She's the one who put him back together. And again, in this card, she is on her knees and she's weeping. And there's an awareness of, even though compassion is something that we need to embody, it's giving me that we succumb to our attachments and that we'll choose to turn away from what is right sometimes to whoever, when Osiris was killed, that was the flesh overcoming, like the human side overcoming the spiritual side, and not being able to refrain from acting out their anger in that manner to slay him. But also the flesh is weak insofar as that he was able to be ended in that way. However, Isis was able to, with her priestess magic abilities, she was able to put him back together, and the spirit was never gone. The spirit never dies. So I'm getting that very, very strongly, but I feel like you've been through a lot of cycles. You've had success. You've moved quickly in your understanding, like, aha, this is a cycle. You're able to build again in the earth, and you're able to collaborate with lots of different kinds of communities, and you're able to meet yourself where you are, and you have this innate understanding that this 3D world is transient. And I'm hearing that phrase again. Christ consciousness is coming back coming through really strongly. And if you look into any of the history of Christ, Yeshua, he was trained in Egypt. So maybe something like even the Emerald Tablets might be something that is of interest, or maybe it's something that you've already explored. But then the 10 of Coins, 10 of Pentacles, you're very abundant. You're able to not only have an understanding of what abundance is, but you're also very generative. So you probably attract a lot of people, and people who are like, well, if I partner with that person, I'm going to be abundant too. And that's true. And back to the grouch, like you may have been someone who found yourself getting depleted over and over again because you were so abundant that maybe people came along and ran off with your goodies, I want to say. And I don't mean necessarily like that maybe somebody ran off with your money or your resources, but they kind of fed off of your energy, took your ideas, and left you feeling depleted, and also left you feeling sad and disappointed and betrayed. Because when you needed someone, I'm getting very strongly that you showed up for people, but when you fell on hard times or things were not in a cycle that was an up cycle for you, it was kind of like either no room at the inn, or what did you think was going to happen, or you trusted the wrong person, or, well, you're stronger than me, so therefore you have to give to me. And you learned to face the dragon within, and you had to bare teeth. And you also had to bite sometimes. If somebody is coming at you to hurt you, you have a responsibility to yourself to protect yourself. And also, it's not compassionate to let somebody go around abusing people. It's just not. I literally just finished a book on. It's called Ask Nod. and it's about all of the it's not about all of it's about a number of females that were really mistreated, mishandled, and very much devalued at the hands of the Kennedy dynasty and all the stuff that was covered up. And we're back to tell the truth. Like the truth wasn't told. They were misrepresented. They got away with so much by just not telling the truth. And that is a feminine energy, again lining up with the throat chakra. It's very, very, very important, and I believe that is a lot about what the patriarchy kind of does stand for in some ways. And what I mean by that is, it's not men versus women. It's like an over reliance on kind of doing things and not telling the truth. An analogy to that would be like, on social media, especially when it came out first, like you would see people's idealized lives, and also PR, for goodness sake, and politics in general, like politicking. We have that as I'm not talking about the White House or anything like that specifically. I'm talking about like in any social group, in any family, in any work group. There you have office politics, anywhere there's kind of dynamics, like, which is anywhere there's people, really. If you're not right with yourself, and you're not right internally, and you're not the kind of person who would just never do that, then you don't know, you expect that of other people, and you don't know who you're dealing with, and you don't know how low people will go. And if you don't know how low you'll go yourself, that's a problem. You should know what you're, and I'm not saying that you should go low. I'm saying you should know what your standards are, and it should be limitless how much you can grow. So I really feel like, pile number one, that you've experienced a lot of betrayal, but it's really made you very, very, it's brought out the warrior in you. You might have grown up like some of these women in systems like the book I just referenced, the Ask Not, where there was almost a monolith, an institution that was held up by surrounding people as well, that really did not give you the opportunity to be heard or be believed. I'm getting scapegoat energy very strongly here, or blame the woman, or she was asking for it, just those kind of tropes. And I'm not saying it necessarily has to be men versus women. I'm talking about these kind of energies, using words, using communication to control the narrative, to destroy people. And you have to wise up and use those for good. And it stops you if you're scapegoated, if you're lied on, if people don't believe you and you are telling the truth, it takes a hell of a lot of strength and compassion, not only to not hold on to that resentment, to face your emotions, to stand up for yourself, to stand up for what you believe in, to stand up for the truth, to stand up for spirit, and to actually build something, to use your lower chakras, your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus chakra, to build something. It's very difficult to build something when you're being constantly attacked. And we've got creation, unique expression, flow of creation, joyfulness. So to go through these kinds of things, especially with people that say that they love you, with people that say, I'm weak, therefore you have to use your strength to bolster me because I don't want to, or because I don't think I can. Well, not so. grown. We all need, oh, crown. We all need to be grown. You have been crowned. Pile number, look at this. You've got the peacock feathers, which is also a symbol of Kuan Yin. Peacock is a symbol of Kuan Yin. And she's got this heart-shaped face and this heart-shaped body. And you've got from the heart to the throat, such beautiful energy. Right to know, go beyond attachments, divine alignment. You're very highly protected. You're very, very loved by spirit. We all are. But you might have been one of these people that was gaslit a lot, and you really had to, the throat chakra also stands for, intuition. You really had to very likely stay strong in your own convictions to not fall for the false narrative that was being pushed on you, not only about who you were or who you are, but about who they were. And as you got more and more and more and more resolved in knowing, and closer to spirit, and closer to your own nature, and closer to your own frequency of love, and as you were growing in the process, you were becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's kind of a law of nature, of the universe. It's the karma's not tit for tat, but when you zoom out, the universe has to always be in balance in some way. So for the amount of ish that was coming at you, you grew and grew and grew. And look at, it's really reminding me of the Kuan Yin, the peacock, but also the 1,000-petal lotus at the crown chakra as well. And you've got that gold. Gold is such a spiritually conductive, very spiritually conductive metal. But there's the liquid gold, the gold energy that flows through us, that is gifted to us should we choose to accept it. And we can only perceive it and we can only feel it when we are willing to partner with the divine and to not think that we know better. We've got divine masculine here. Rise of true gentle power, true strength. How stunning is that? Again, you've got Spirit's cup here inside a heart. You've got the dolphins. The dolphins in this are just reminding me of, you might have some connection with somewhere like Mintaka. These are the Lemurian Star Child Oracle cards. So you have a connection to that Lemurian frequency, and you radiate that frequency. It's really, 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 really beautiful. And you're an absolute gift. This card is reminding me of that quote that says, courage does not always roar. Sometimes it is the quiet voice, I will try again tomorrow. Because you can't always be baring your teeth, but sometimes you have to. And I am going to leave it there, pile number 1. Such beautiful energy. Thank you for stopping by. If you like the messages, please consider commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And I hope to see you at another reading. Bye, pile number 1. Okay, pile number 2. Hello, hello, hello. You had Irene. Beautiful. I'm just going to take a little sip of water, sorry. There is no need to worry. Everything is working out beautifully. And it's got the same, it's lovely. It's got this is reminding me of the ocean. And you've got the ocean in this card and the dolphins jumping in the background. She's got the grapes here. And this little infant is swaddled in purple. So very, very strong Oh, very, very strong crown chakra, third eye, very, very strong feminine chakra energy coming off of this. Crown, pineal, and throat chakra. You've got allowance. Gorgeous. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's almost looking like a heart to me here. And then you've got, it's open at the top, but you've got the yellow all around here. Very strong sacral, very strong heart chakra, very strong solar plexus. So it's really giving, and higher heart as well. It's giving a lot of both movement and rest. We've got the storyteller. Very, very, very beautiful. The storyteller. And release the petals. Transformation, death, and rebirth. Shedding all change. Okay. What is coming through pile number 2 for you is the dream realm. I'm getting, Irene is giving me, Aaron is the, Aaron Naveen. Aaron is the Gaelic name for Ireland. So I'm getting very strong Gaelic vibes from this for you. And there's no need to worry. Everything is working out beautifully. And with all the blue, it's reminding me of Far Gurm. And the name for someone of color in Gaelic is Far Gurm, and that means blue man. But it's not reminding me of people of color. It's reminding me of the actual blue men. You know, there was I don't know who it was, but there was some guy who was having these dreams. Like, there's blue men who live in who live in let's say I don't want to say that they live in caves, but the access to them is through caves, and everybody can rock in there. There are stories documented about this. You can look it up. You can choose to believe it or not. I'm not telling you what to believe, but they're out there. But it's reminding me of that. And we've got the blue dragon here as well, and she's got her blue striped tights on here. So there's a lot about communication, and of course with the storyteller, that makes a lot of sense. And then we've got heart chakra energy here, and it's really got this idea of like grounding your dreams into reality. And that is funny to me because I keep hearing life is a lucid dream. It is reminding me of the Pleiadians. I'm getting Chernanog also. Chernanog was this magical realm. It's a legend in Ireland as well. And Chernanog translates to the land of the youth. And the Pleiadians, like, they have this this youthful appearance, I guess, to them. And it's giving me, I'm getting a lot of, so transformation, death, rebirth, shedding all change. I'm also hearing oh, sorry, it's gone out of my head. Chernanog. Okay, it's going to come back to me. I forget. I'm so sorry. The storyteller. The storyteller is really talking about live your legend. So it's not just sitting there and reading books. It's not just sitting there and like running around your imagination while sitting on the sofa. there is a lot of meditation. There's a lot of that kind of using the mind, but through the body, like feeling the emotions, visioneering. But I'm also getting really strongly for you guys as well, things like lucid dreaming, remote viewing, astral travel. So I think that you could have a very strong propensity towards that, and maybe keeping a dream journal, paying attention to your dreams at certain times, like when the, you know, certain astrological configurations, it might be really, really potent. Depends where Neptune is, for example, in your chart, or where your transits are, might be something worth looking into. You're really, and of course Neptune, they say, is the higher octave of Venus, and Venus is all about about your values, about relationships, about and then Libra is ruled by Venus also, and Libra is about our, you know, balance and one-to-one relationships. So for you, I feel like it's really important that you it could be really important if you're having recurring dreams, for example, or if you're having very, very vivid dreams. Like there might be that might be a key or a portal for you to be able to work out some messages that are coming through, and your guides are, and the dream realm is really giving a nod to that right now, saying yes, 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 we're talking to you through the dream realm. We're talking to you through the dream realm. We're talking to you. Your guides very much communicate with you through the dream realm. And they're also saying very strongly that the dream realm is sacred, and you can learn to master that, and not master it insofar as that I want to manifest this, I want to manifest that, but like to be protective of it. Maybe learn some ways to kind of guard yourself on the astral. Maybe some ways to, like, you know, if people are infiltrating your space when your defenses are down, when you're asleep, they do a great job of protecting you, but also asking them. You have to have free will. They can't come in and just do things that you have not consented to. So you need to potentially, if you're waking up, let's say, out of sorts, and you're having a lot of, for example, bad dreams, maybe that's something to pay attention to. Maybe that's something to, kind of talk to your guides before you go to sleep. Maybe even sometimes asking them, say, look, I really need a good night's sleep. Can I just relax for a night and not have any dreams? I don't know if necessarily that the dreams will go away, but maybe there will be an extra layer of protection for you inside of that, if that makes sense. What I was failing to remember is that the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So that's back to life is just a lucid dream. That actually, like, less so. You know, in the Matrix movie, for example, it's like, it's very, we're in a Matrix, whatever. But that's just one perspective, is what they're saying. Like, it's just so much more. There's so much more to your ability to create, your ability to go in there and have fun. Like, when you have great dreams, pay attention to that as well. And then there's dream yoga as well. There's loads of books on it that you can look into. So I'm going to pull some tarot for you, pile number 2, and just, oh my gosh, see. I'm also getting through the dream realm. I don't know if you have any awareness of Metatron, but I'm getting very strong Metatron energy for some of you guys. And Metatron had an incarnation on this. Had a human incarnation. He's allegedly he's put in the archangel category a lot, but I'm just gonna leave it there. Wow. Okay, I might need to have a little cover for this little lady here. The world. Wow. So you have 3 kings on the board. Kings are mastery. You've got the King of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. What you're missing is the King of Cups. But you do have the Knight of Cups. And it's moving towards the Eight of Cups, which is this guy in a red garb walking away from something that he's emotionally invested in. And of course you see the moon here. And it's the moon and the sun, so that's an eclipse. So what the water element is associated with intuition and dreams and truth and all that. So you don't have the water element here. So one of the messages that's coming through for you is to pay attention to your dreams. And if you're not having dreams, or if you don't remember your dreams, maybe if there's something that's impacting you from, like if you're falling asleep watching, with the timer on and not giving yourself maybe look up things that would help you get a better, deeper rest. What I'm trying to say is maybe you're not going into REM sleep. Maybe give yourself an opportunity to have a wind down ritual at night. And if you are like overcharged with dreams, maybe getting them out of your body and into paper would be really, really helpful for you. And then if you look back at your dreams over time, you might be able to really like see some recurring patterns, like once you zoom out. And I'm also hearing that like you could actually have a lot of fun with this. You could start, documenting some of your dreams, dropping them into AI, for example, and being asking like, well, pull out some patterns for me here. And just, there's that idea of like playing with technology and playing with your own subconscious, your own technology, your own energy. Like there's a lot of, I'm getting from the dolphins here, you really have a lot of peace when you kind of are able to get what is in there to the surface. Like deep dive is a word that I'm hearing that it's a word that I don't really like very often, because I feel like it's used by people a lot who actually don't know the meaning of the of the phrase. And you're just like, no, you didn't deep dive. You read a book and you think you know what it means. And then you have the Eight of Swords here. So you have everything that you need. And if you're feeling blocked or you're feeling stagnant, you have everything you need. So it's you are the Empress. You're super generative. You're very smart. You have good boundaries. You may just be a bit of you may have some tendency towards overgiving to people who don't deserve it. If they're not, and we talked a little bit about Libra and that reciprocity. So maybe you're learning at this stage, and maybe you can work it out through your dreams. Maybe your dreams have some information for you. And I also think that if you're not getting information in 3D, like if people are not being straight up with you, if they're gaslighting you, if they're blindfolding you, if they're telling you or leaving information out that you need in order to make an informed decision. There's a reason in the medical field we have something called informed consent. You can't just do something to someone without their consent. And I'm just, it's just reminding me of that, like the Sister Rosemary of the Kennedys, what her own father did to her. Horrific, absolutely horrific. Different times, but no excuse for that kind of thing. But you're on a precipice of just I always hear Dr. Phil saying, not even God can change the past. And that's true when it's not true. Because everything is happening all at once now. And you wouldn't want to change the past once you're able to harvest the beauty from it. Once you're able to appreciate and accept, allow yourself to accept the abundance that's come from walking away from things. And it's very difficult to explain. I once heard this person, very well educated, was also very well educated on psychology, as well as had studied a lot of different religions. So she was coming from a very informed, well researched place, and had also experienced a lot of towers in her own life, and she made decisions that were more in harmony with kind of like, well, I'm going to build with integrity. I'm going to build from the truth. I'm not going to lie to myself, and I'm not going to lie to my clients. And she ended up building up something, that's standing today, and her family's involved in it and all that. I forget why I was sharing that with you, because as I went off on a tangent, I completely lost my train of thought. I feel like you have, in order to have that peace, I'm hearing Abraham Hicks as well saying that, like, we want the things that we want because we believe in having them, that we'll feel good about ourselves, we'll feel good about our lives, we'll enjoy our lives more. But there's also that idea that, the good times, without the bad times, we wouldn't be able to have the appreciation of the good times. Like, we just would. How things are going to happen. There's always going to be cycles. Winter always follows fall. Always. We're not always going to be in a mode where we're generating something new. There is transformation, there is death, and there is rebirth, and we do have to shed things as we go through life. And walking away from things that did have meaning for us at one stage, we're changing and evolving as we go through life. So we outgrow some of the things that we once received loving feelings from. And if in relationships, if we don't grow together, we can grow apart. It doesn't mean that we need to be matchy, but it means that we need to grow in our respect of each other. We need to not fall out of love at the same time. We need to, again, have those standards of, I'm a person who, instead of having a to-do list, this woman used to say, well, have a to-be list. Who am I going to be today? Am I going to be someone who tells the truth? Am I going to be someone who shows up and does my best? Am I going to be someone who doesn't take things personally? I'm just after reading the 4 agreements, so they're very strong. Am I going to be someone who doesn't make assumptions? Am I going to be someone who does my due diligence? Am I going to be someone who builds something who builds myself, or who builds something of myself? Or am I going to be someone who expects other people to do it for me? Am I going to be entitled, or am I going to be someone who contributes? Beautiful. So I mentioned before that I was getting very strong Metatron for you. And the purple is really giving me Christ consciousness. And this came up very strongly in pile number 1 as well. And I'm hearing that song by George Michael, Jesus to a Child. Beautiful, beautiful song. Always stay in the heart, dove of peace. Stay in the heart, all is well, be at peace. There is no need to worry, everything is working out beautifully. Allowance. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment. There's a real recognition here that you're aware of these cycles, birth and death of cycles. It's more obvious in, let's say, it can be more obvious, let's say, in the case of a woman. She goes from maiden to, motherhood, maybe, to crone. And in the male archetype, it tends to go from boy to man. And enlightened masculine, potential new earth. It's really strong about settling into your own values and moving from there. Your own who you want to be and moving from there. And I heard someone say on a reading yesterday, I think it was, you need structure so you can flow around it. You don't be the structure. You don't forego the flow to be the structure. You have to build a structure, and that's again the combining of the masculine and the feminine energies. And we talked about that in pile number 1 a lot as well. So maybe this is something for you, but you seem to be in that space where maybe there's a lot of I don't want to say balancing, but you might be feeling stagnant. You're not stagnant, you're just working through unseen. And very, very, at this time, it's very internal. That's what I want to say. Right now, a very long-winded way of saying right now, you're really being guided to sit and observe, not take action, but to settle your energy, to go within, and to move from a place of serenity. Serenity is the last lesson of culture. That's from Serenity by James Allen. And then the last one I pulled for you was divine healing is upon you, divine grace and divine guidance. So I'm seeing the 4 of Swords as well in my mind. So I feel like there's a lot going on with you internally, and that's really reminding me, this is reminding me of Christ consciousness. It's reminding me of Pisces energy as well. So you might be doing, it mightn't be obvious to the outside world that, you're doing X, Y, and Z, but I feel it very strongly in your energy that you're really processing through a lot, creating a lot. And I think that once you've kind of really mastered some of this unseen Neptunian and I'm getting really having fun in it, as well as maybe clearing up some, when you're a kid and maybe you get a magic, you might get a magic set and you're working on your cape and your your cape, and you have your wand, and you set up your little thing, and you're doing your card tricks and all that kind of stuff. It's almost like playing with these energies and having fun with them is really a gift for you at this time, if it's something that you choose to do. And maybe you're already really doing it and this is just a confirmation. But I'm going to leave it there, pile number 2. Dream Realm is speaking to you really, really strongly. You have a lot of your guides and energies coming through the Dream Realm to speak to you. Also, obviously, your higher self and your future self and your inner child. So, have fun with it if that's what you choose to do. So maybe I'll see you at another reading. I'd love it if you'd like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if not, I will see you when I see you. Bye, pile number 2. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. And I'm hearing appropriate action might be to have a nap. Oh, I love that. Siesta. The frequency of cosmic flower activates our remembrance from the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. So beautiful, so beautiful. Have you ever heard that there is, we call the earth Mother Gaia. And that's one expression of Gaia, is the earth. But there's also, we talk about Mother Gaia as being feminine. But Mother Gaia is also a spiritual being, which means that Mother Gaia is masculine and feminine energies balanced. And there is this theory out there that at the center of the earth, there is, I guess, a black hole, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the terminology is these days. But that just popped into my head. So that might be relevant for somebody. And we have the balancer. And she's got the black and the red. Card number 1, it's kind of reminding me of the magician. I'm just going to cover this up here. And we've got the crowning. Initiation, thresholds, birth, rebirth, a seat at the table. Oh, wow. And this is reminding me of the Temple of Hathor. And crowning, I don't know if you can see it here. So she's in a position where the soles of her feet are together and her hips are open, and I've covered her up, but there's a little baby here, and the baby is being held by 2 hands, which are obviously not her hands because her hands are on her face, but it's there's not a figure holding the hands. There's a rose at her bardo, the entry point from the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. It's really strongly giving, cosmic flowers, the flower of life. And this baby, the crowning, the baby comes into the earth, crown first. Very, very interesting. And then this, Athena, Zeus didn't want the competition, so he swallowed her mother whole, and Athena popped from his forehead fully armored. And then the balancer is talking about we need to come from a balanced position. Don't be impulsive. Take a moment to act. Clear thinking and compassionate feeling is what's needed before acting. So that's really giving me coming back to center, coming back home, coming back to before we birth a new action, before we birth a new response, before we move, taking a moment to balance. But there's 2 things coming with that. I think you do that. Think you do that very naturally. Now, I think you've been through a lot. You've gained a lot of wisdom. You're very good at knowing when to move and when not to move. And we were talking about this in one of the other piles. I forget. It was about, I think it was in pile number 1 actually, about the warrior versus the soldier. And Athena is, she's the goddess of wisdom. And warriors are wise because they know when to move and when not to move. They know when to respond and when not to respond. And they know how to pick their battles and when to pick them. And I think that's what the balancer is really saying, that you've you've really embodied that and embraced that, and whatever you've been through in your life. Maybe you had a difficult father who was just, kind of not easy to deal with, and maybe not. For you, pile number 3, what I'm hearing is the space in between. Do you ever hear that in meditation? They might say, focus on the breath. And then sometimes they will say, focus on the space between breaths. So what is that? What is that? What is the space between? What is the space between the realms? Where does the realms come from? I'm hearing which came first, the chicken or the egg? Where did the chicken and the egg come from? What is that? There's a lot of really deep understanding of the beyond realms. The dark and the light does not mean the good and the bad. There can be no shadow without light. The universe is made of light. What's beyond the light of the universe? What is beyond the light? What is beyond the light and the dark? What is beyond duality? What is beyond balance? Source. I'm hearing that neutrality is misunderstood and mislabeled. Neutrality is not equal and not synonymous with indifference. Neutrality is equanimity. Neutrality is neutrality is. I am. Neutrality is. I am. Neutrality is. Potential. Before manifest. But everything exists now. There is only now. All timelines coincide. Where do they coincide? Where is that? It's, ooh, I've got goosebumps. It's the void. Good Lord, we've got the Hanged Man out. We've got the 7 of Wands, bravery. The High Priestess, my goodness, pile number 3. We've got disappointment. That is the 5 of Cups. We've got balance, adjustment. Pile that's card number 8, and in most decks it's number 11. Daughter of Earth, which is the Page of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles is gain. We've got the Moon under the High Priestess. Oh my goodness. 10 of Cups under the 5 of Cups. Oh my goodness. And you've got the King of Swords under Justice. Wow. I'm hearing the song Spiderweb. I hear that a lot by Katie Melua. Cause the bully's the victim, they say. From sunsets, they're all the same. Cause the line between wrong and right is the width of a thread of a spider's web. The piano keys are black and white, but they sound like a million colors in your mind. So, gosh, pile number 3. You have got some really, really big energy. Centering your reading. You've got Athena over here and the Cosmic Flower. I mean, come on, this is like, this is big energy. You've got the High Priestess and the Moon. This is intuition. And I mean, she's reading tarot cards here. She is aware of her human vessel. There's a portal behind her. There is the cosmos here, and there is the earth here. there is the moon here, and you've got these flowers that flower by the by the light of the moon. You've got 10 of Cups and 9 of Pentacles. You have got happiness, you have got independence, and you have got the Page of Pentacles, and you have got the Father of Air, which is the King of Swords. So you really have, through your bravery, through fighting fires, through disappointment and balancing yourself. And look at who's balancing. It's this little girl. So you have this understanding that your human incarnation is just like this little speck of who you are in the grand scheme of things. And yet you have access to all of what is and what can be. But your human brain couldn't even begin to fathom it. And this is reminding me of inversions in yoga. Like, it's good to have to have the heart beneath the legs. It's good to have, it's really good to be in an inverted position for the body. And that's why they do the Sharvangasana and I forget what the Sanskrit term is for the headstand off the top of my head. And also, you just have this innate enjoyment of, I'm getting a really peaceful, wise, sage-like energy from you. He's the father of air, but it's still reminding me of the Hermit card in this deck as well. So I'm getting very strong Hermit energy from this as well. I'm getting Metatron. I'm getting sacred geometry. I'm seeing that I was looking up the ley lines recently, and when you look at them kind of on the world, it looks like the flower of life, the pattern of the ley lines on the earth. And I wonder, do they change? I don't know. And then if you're anything like me, sometimes you wonder that, when you look things up, and I don't trust everything that I see on the internet, obviously. You're at the stage where you're like, oh, that's interesting research. And what's his name? Einstein said, he's quoted as saying that play is the highest form of research, because when you're in play, your ego is not in it. It's just you and spirit. Spirit loves play. So you're open to truth. You're open to things that you wouldn't be open to when your ego is in there, and when your ego is trying to run the show. When your ego is saying, well, I have this expectation, therefore now I'm disappointed. It's beyond. You've just really mastered taking different perspectives on situations that have happened in your life, situations that are going on in the greater world. And by goodness, do we need that right now? People who can take a different perspective, people who can shift their position. Somebody a child will never, they're open to learning. You have that beginner's mind. And that's something that I learned in yoga initially. One of the earliest concepts that I learned in yoga was being able to have that beginner's mind. And what it really struck me about our Swami as well, Swamiji, was when you were around him. He was a physicist, but he got the call and he left and he became a Swami. And I had talked to other Swamis that were there, and some were doctors and chemists. And I remember asking them, why did you become a Swami? And he was like, because science only goes so far. It's contained within whatever. And I just, I wanted to go beyond. And science is ever growing. But Einstein is also quoted as saying that the more I learned about science, the more I believed in God. And someone that I used to follow very closely used to always say, God for her was grand overall design. It's not that, Sky Daddy with the beard and da-da-da-da-da. You can take it whatever way you want, but there is an overarching force, life force that we all are part of, that we're all born from. And that's the way she was articulating it and describing it. Some people call it source, some people call it God, some people, there are all these different names for it. Like we have chi, we have prana, we have all these words for it. But we're trying to understand things through just our minds sometimes. And sometimes we just have to let our minds have a rest and just hang on a branch and let the energy of nature just sink into it. And we are not in nature, we are nature. It's like, if we were, the way we have like we have hands and we have feet and we have, smaller than that, we have skin, we have cells in our body, we have organs, we have, muscles and tendons, but we can keep going smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But we're all, all of the everything that exists on the planet is part of Mother Gaia. Even things like, the rocks. Like, think about the rocks. We think about, I'm hearing that song. I always quote this song. It's from Pocahontas. You think the land you land on. No, you think the land you land on. I have to think about it now. You think the earth is just a dead thing you can claim, but I know every rock and tree and river. Our creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Yeah, so even the rocks, like they've been we think that we're the apex predators. We think that we're the smartest thing because we are able to communicate with words. And I always see an orca. And an orca looking at me. And the orca, how the orcas, we have them in captivity. And there's a few of them, like they've changed how we interact with orcas. Back in the day, back 20 years ago, you used to see the trainers would ride them and they'd be in the tank with them. But then orcas started to attack their trainers and things. And there's one in particular where, she was very brutally killed and she was pulled in by the ponytail and dragged down. And there were warning signs that this was going to happen. But we think we're smart because we can encapsulate an orca and stick it in a tank and have it do tricks for us. My feeling, my understanding, what I believe, and I could be wrong, but this is what feels truthful to me, is that they're much higher order beings than we are. And maybe they never spoke words like the way we did, but they've been around for so much more millennia than we have, like 30 million years or something like this, and probably existed on other planets before they ever rocked down to planet Earth. But they communicate differently. They have echolocation. They have in their pods, they have their own languages. They can communicate with each other in ways that we don't even understand. And we think they're probably looking at us going like, I understand that the flesh is weak. I understand that you have imprisoned my physical body. And I understand that things are happening in my physical body. The whale's brain is massive, by the way, like super, super intelligent. But they can't communicate with us because we're too dumb. That's the problem. The problem's not the whales. The problem is us. Like, we think we're smarter because we got here 5 minutes ago and we have free will, and so do they. But it's like they're sacred beings. They're allowing themselves to be sacrificed. They could do way worse if they wanted to. Their spirits are so much more, and we have so little reverence for this beautiful, beautiful creature. One of my dreams is that we will get to a stage in our evolution as humans where we won't want to have, beautiful, majestic creatures like that doing tricks for us in an aquarium. But that's just me. But this whole pile has just this understanding through the body, through your energy, as you walk through the world, as you interact with people, as you discuss, that you're whether or not you're conscious of it, your subconscious, your unconscious, your body, the crystals in your blood, your higher self, the you that's running around other dimensions and other platforms, dimensions, timelines. Your whole being has this innate connection, an awareness of this connection to the beyond realms, to that space in between, to that beauty. You're like the whales. You're willing to be toyed with because you know that this life is temporary. You know that it's fleeting. You know that like amazing things are happening, and that you're teaching, and that you're learning, and that you're experiencing, and that you're having an initiation, and that you're passing thresholds, whether you even see them or not. I'm getting really strong for you, like emerald tablets, and Athena is also very strongly with the emerald, associated with the emerald. I'm getting alchemy for you, Atlantis, sacred sites, and then we talked about the ley lines as well. So you may be someone who is very, very good at, or has not tapped into it yet. Again, this came up in pile 2 as well. An ability to remote view, an ability to dream yoga, an ability to lucid dream, those kinds of things. Traveling without moving, Cosmic Girl. They're Jamiroquai songs. The album is called Traveling Without Moving, and Cosmic Girl and Virtual Insanity are two of the songs from it that are coming to mind. So they might be something to look up to. But you just have this, irrespective of what disappointments you're facing, like you're able to bring yourself back to 10 of Cups because you know that the peace and the love is within. You know that the serenity is within. How much more valuable it is to have a peaceful life. How more precious it is to have a peaceful life than gold. Yes, real gold. That's from Serenity, from James Allen. You have this supremely serene energy. And I would imagine that people come for you and they try to take from you and they try to feed off of you. And no matter what, you get up and you start again. And I'm hearing, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. You understand that they're just humans trying to make whales do tricks when people come for you. But you have learned to balance and find your inner warrior. And you have learned, again, I'm seeing the hermit in this. I feel like you might have to walk alone quite a bit. And whether that is, I had somebody say to me once, but sure, I can be alone when I'm with you. And that can be really lonely. People might not be able to meet you where you were at, but you can meet everyone where they're at. And that can be a lonely experience. Pile number 2, wow. Or pile number 3, I'm sorry. Woo! You have just such gorgeous, really powerfully, intensely. And even look, the nails here are just with earth. Like you just, you know how to really be present and enjoy the marrow of your existence no matter what is happening. What is divine blueprint? Whoa. This came out in pile number 2, the new man. This is giving me Christ consciousness. You know how to divine heaven down here on earth. And I think you probably attract a lot of people who did that. We have got double owl. Stop it. Loving eyes see all. Equanimity. See the truth. Step back. You have that ability in spades. You're absolutely beautiful. You've got we talked about sacred geometry just a minute ago. You understand the electromagnetic field that you're giving on. You surrender yourself to cosmic forces in a way that you are co-creating. You're not, and I think that was here. No, I don't know. You have a seat at the table. You know, we all have a seat at the table. You're just aware of the seat of the table. People might think you're way off with the fairies, and you probably are sometimes. And have fun. Why not? That's a great realm to hang out in. I'm seeing Taurus field here as well. You're just really, really aware of your own energy, whether your mind knows it or not. Such gorgeous energy, pile number 3. Wow. Thank you for being here. I thank you for incarnating. Thank you for being this, seeding this energy here. I know that you're enjoying your life. If you're not enjoying your life, you have that you're able to bring yourself back to that point. If you are running into blocks with kind of attachment and stuff like that, you know, meditate and maybe get some of your, when you can rest your mind. For me, a good way to rest my mind is to tire my body. Or too tired to think. When it's all mental, because I have all this pent up energy in my body then, that like, you know, I can't, my body's not tired, but my mind is fatigued. And that is the worst feeling in the world for me. I like to also have my body fatigued so that my mind can rest. And then again, journaling things, drawing things, painting things. For you, I'm seeing a lot of like you could be into like light language, light codes. You could I'm seeing Doctor Strange as well. You know how you see their way of doing magic is like the way it's represented in Doctor Strange is you can see the energy moving. So you're very good at manipulating energy. Whatever your modality is, or modalities, I should say, whatever you love to express. So I'd say self-expression is very important for you as well. As well as moving energy physically through your body. So creative expression, physical expression, I'm thinking of, when moon is Cancer energy. You know the phrase that we have for like when women have babies and then they express milk to feed the baby. That's what I'm talking about. Expression versus versus absorption, ingestion. Like which way is the energy going? So physical expression, like transmuting it, transforming it into another form. As well as mental, as well as emotional, as well as intuitive. So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. Sorry, I went off on a tangent again. I love you very much. I am sending you lots of good vibes. You must be having some like real intense energy since this is just the end of eclipse season. So as far as I know, the eclipse energy is really going to be strong the whole way through October as well of 2025. So, enjoy it, play with it, experiment with it. And who knows what you'll uncover and discover in yourself and in the cosmos. So again, bye, pile number 3.